We are huge fans of Yairi guitars. We have found since we've been reviewing them that many of you are too. So we're continuing the reviews here. Today we have an FYM70ce. Amazing guitar to tell you all about, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, do all that fun stuff. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store, link below for custom swag. Check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional. And of course, you can buy stuff from us. That is always helpful. One thing that you can buy is this guitar. It's the FYM60ce. It's from
70.
70, sorry, thank you. It comes to us from Yairi, made in Japan. We're huge fans of these guitars. We've had actually trouble keeping them in stock, so we know you are big fans as well. And this is one of the, I think, kind of a nicely appointed, you know, I don't want to say middle of the road because it doesn't really do it justice, but it's moving up to like the Addy Rosewoods. It's different. It's you know, beyond the mahogany with the appointments and the combination of woods in this particular case.
I want to say it's the working musician's Yairi because it is not the Addy top. It's not the all mahogany, whatever. You know, it's your classic spruce rosewood, but it comes with a pickup, comes with a cutaway. This is like, if you love those guitars and maybe a non-cutaway guitar or something that you have to put a pickup in, which is not hard to do, but maybe that is just not as practical for you. You need something that's going to come straight out of the case and be ready to go play a gig, or you just need a little more access up here or something. I think it's really nice that they offer something of this caliber with that type thing, because I feel like there's the Taylor way, which everything has a pickup and a cutaway for the most part. There's the Martin way, which almost nothing has a cutaway, nothing has a pickup. And there's exceptions on both of those. But I feel like with these guitars, it's a lot of the very traditional, you know, acoustic guitar mixed with traditional Japanese aesthetic. And this sort of makes this a little more, I don't know, feasible for like somebody that's actually going to go rock out, play some leads, or want to plug in pretty quickly.
Well, this reminds me of a lot of the Yairis that I would kind of covet in the 90s. You know, there was a big renaissance for them back then, I think. And I remember looking through guitar magazines or watching certain artists play. And it was often a model that was similar along these lines. You know, it was that classic combination of spruce and rosewood that gives you all of that warmth and brilliance and overtones and stuff with these very simple aesthetics and just kind of perfect Japanese execution.
Yeah, awesome guitar. So naming conventions, because we've got a lot of Yairi videos out there now. FYM70ce, F being folk style or OM style, Yairi Masterworks, FYM, and then if you got a 7 as the first letter, that's going to be rosewood back and sides. If it's a 6, it's mahogany. And then the second digit, it gets funky with the mahogany ones, right? But with this one, this is a 70 with rosewood and Sitka spruce top, high grade. If it's a 72, that's going to be Adirondack top.
What do they call it? It's like a 4A top?
I think it's a 14A.
All the A's.
Every A you can get, this is the best one they got. But so yeah, the 70 is going to be Sitka and rosewood. 72 is going to be Adirondack and rosewood. In the Honduran series, they don't use any Sitka, so it's going to be 60 or 66. The 0 there still means Adirondack. If you're not confused, good for you.
You're not playing.
You're not playing. But otherwise, mahogany neck, ebony fingerboard with something I really like, just the simple 12th fret. Little.
There you go. Thank you.
Simple headstock inlay, Goto 510s, nice ivory binding all over, maple purfling back strip.
Very nice straight grain Easton and rosewood on there.
Yeah, really nice looking. And but this one comes with the pickup, LR bags, VTC element, I believe, which we just ordered a bunch of those.
They're great pickups
for the store because they're good pickups and they're simple and easy to install, and you know
they're showing up in more and more things. And you want to know why I think that is? So I like Fishman pickups. I don't want to take anything away from Fishman pickups, but I want to qualify why I think the Element's become so popular. Traditionally, an undersaddle pickup from Fishman would be a very It's basically like a stiff element that goes underneath the saddle. And you have to have a perfectly flat saddle, and you have to have a perfectly flat saddle slot for this to work, because the issue usually with any of these pickups is string-to-string balance issues. And a lot of manufacturers moved away from them or have tried to find other options because of that, particularly in a factory environment when you're trying to build guitars, and then you have to go and why is the B string louder than the G string, and so on and so forth. So that's what happens. And over the years, people have tried different things. I remember there was a saddle at one point that had some flexibility. It had like holes drilled in it, so it kind of would move. The element's pickup element is flexible instead of being rigid like Fishman's. And so it's also the basis for the Anthem system. And so you can put it underneath the saddle, and in my experience installing them, have fewer string-to-string balance issues. Nice. So you have just like really great fidelity in the balance of the guitar strings, and it's a good sounding pickup. The preamp work that they do in the in-pin with the controls it makes it a really good solid sounding guitar pickup without a whole lot of complication.
Yeah, and you know, they are popping up in a lot of different things, in Gibsons, in Ferks, in Yairis, you know, all over the place. But it's also nice because sometimes with Anthems, sometimes with, you know, something that is going to be an under saddle and it's got a bunch of stuff in there, they don't fit in every single guitar, and bracing is different all over the place.
Yeah, like a full-size Anthem won't fit in a V-Class Taylor. It just won't. The bracing's in the way. There's certain Martin models that it was problematic in too.
Yeah,
in the 15 series, it was always problematic. And so, yeah, there's less going on in the guitar with these. You're adding less weight. You're adding less kind of complexity. They work really well. They're good pickups.
Yeah, and as we're talking about the saddle, take a look at the bridge. This is Yairi proprietary, I think is what they might call it. Direct coupled, so your strings and end pins are anchoring directly on the top of the guitar, very strong, and then it's just putting all the downward pressure on the saddle, on the bridge, so you're not getting that sort of maybe counterintuitive thing of like your bridge is being pulled up at the back but pushed down, you know. So it's a nice thing, and it also is a visual signifier of this is a Yairi guitar, and it's cool.
And that's coupled with the FST6 bracing.
FST6.
So it's a forward shifted scout bracing that, when coupled with this, it makes for a very lively top.
It sings. Take a listen.
Okay, so there you have it. The musical stylings of one Cooper Greenberg on the Yairi FYM70ce. Fantastic guitar. You know, one of the things I also kind of want to talk about with this folk body, I would liken it to like an OM, wouldn't you? I mean, it's similar in depth. I mean, it's not exactly like Martin OM's sizing, but it's pretty darn close. And from a comparative standpoint, given the price that these go for, what you would be looking at similarly from other manufacturers might be a Martin OM28. You'd be looking at like a 400 series Taylor, because an 800 series is $4,000 at this point. Or more.
Which is funky because, like, 400's like right at 3.
Yeah.
And 800, I mean, there's kind of that gap in the middle. You're sort of right in the middle of those two.
So it's an interesting guitar because it does present a lot of value. We're huge fans of these instruments that are made in Japan. Their craftsmanship has always been just stellar. Yeah. And the execution on this, it just kind of doubles down on that. Yeah. So it's a really awesome guitar. And, I don't know about you. I love the simplicity of it. I love the double ring rosette. I love the clear pick guard that's put on so perfectly well, you can't even hardly see it. You kind of have to catch it in the right light. It really literally just disappears. I love that because I don't see that always done with that kind of execution. It's just a really, really well-made guitar. I like the neck. Did we kind of talk about the shape of this neck? It's kind of a very, very, very soft V.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool. If you didn't know it about these Yairi Masterworks guitars, these are bench-made guitars. They talk a lot about the spoke-shaved necks and like how much handwork goes into this, which it's not a cheap guitar, but I feel like it's one of the rare things in the whole kind of guitar world that I think you get more than you pay for because of the amount of work that goes into it and the attention to detail. You can get a fantastic neck from another company that has guitars of similar caliber, but that's not going to be something that was hand done. And it's they could have easily blinged it out and made it like, super fancy sort of inlay heavy guitar, but it doesn't need that. It's the quality of the wood, the handwork that was done on it, and the sound that you get out of it.
And I love the aesthetic appointments that they're choosing. There's something classic about it, while at the same time being different from most things on the market. And that is something about this guitar that appeals to me. Sometimes there's something cool about being the person that has something that's a little different from what everyone else has. Yeah. Because it's like you found something that maybe not everyone, is in on. So, fantastic guitar. It's a great value. You can see everything that we're getting from Yairi on our website because we have a bunch of stuff that's been coming in at
alamomusic.com. We've got a handful of stuff that we haven't seen in a while, some new stuff, dreadnoughts, OMs. We also have plenty more on order. You will be able to see what's on our, because the listing that you see will say pre-order. And we know you're looking all over for an FYM70ce HD. We are too.
We have so many on order.
At this point in time, we have 14 on order, and I think 7 of those are spoken for already. I hope the wait is not too much longer, but I also know as soon as we're going to get those 7 out, and I am sure that the next 7 will be spoken for before too long. So if you want something with the spruce top, rosewood back and sides, we got a few options for you right now in Sitka or Adirondack. If you're looking for the Honduran stuff, they're always going to be a bit of a wait, so feel free to either pre-order or you can call us, ask for ETAs. We can help you find one, get one in your hands, because all these guitars are worth the wait.
Yeah.
And then there's surprising fun times like this where the spruce rosewood stuff comes in, and you remember all over again, it's not just about the mahogany. It's about the rosewood too,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you're new to our channel, make sure that you subscribe, you turn on notifications, like our videos, leave us a comment below, share with your friends, invite us for Christmas dinner, all of that fun stuff. We love you. We'll see you next time.